friends, it is Wednesday, and you are watching Cosmically Connected with your host, Cortney Kane Sides. I'm so grateful you are here. And tonight we are talking about this beautiful lunar eclipse that's coming on. It is in Libra. And guys, I see everybody coming on. Thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor and make sure that you are subscribing, hitting that like button, of course, sharing this podcast with the world around you. Hi, guys. I'm so happy to see you. It was such a great, let's just say this has been such a great time. I'm noticing like such beautiful kind of connections with my clients. But as I say that, I know that so many of you are seeing, I can't even go on with the podcast before I touch on the conflict in the world right now, guys. Not to bring this podcast low, but everybody, can we please take a good deep breath in here and send that light to Israel, send that to all of that energy that's happening in the world. I don't know about you guys, but I know some of you, or many of you, are very empathic and you are massive feelers. And so it's almost impossible to not feel the intensity of the world right now. And so, yeah, guys, let's keep coming back to the light. We do have a choice in the matter. And so I believe that the world is kind of desperate right now for us light seekers and us spiritual souls on this quest for something good to continue to keep diving into this. Many of you, give me an emoji if you are feeling really heavy energy around, if you're feeling confused, if you're feeling erratic, if you're feeling sad even right now. Yes, I meant, well, yes, everywhere. Thank you. Yeah, it is very, very, the world is heavy, and so many of us empathic people are just feeling it in all of the different ways. And so, guys, I take a breath with you. I send you such love and light to all of the world around. Yeah, I'm seeing some of you are feeling the overwhelm of the world. Many people are right now. So, guys, thank you again for your comments. I appreciate you so much here. Yeah, empathy to all. Thank you, Lube Taylor. I appreciate that. Guys, let's connect. Very often we call on the guides and angels before we start these podcasts. I want to start that tonight with you all. And before we dive into what this eclipse has to offer, and then we'll probably go back to the other energy, what's happening in the world right now. And guys, if you're new to this channel, you are watching Cosmically Connected. I am your host, psychic medium Cortney Kane Sides, and you are watching the Forbidden Knowledge Network. And on Wednesdays, we are here. And so I'm so excited that you guys are with me tonight. We are going to be talking about this eclipse that's coming up. It's on the 14th. It's Saturday. And many people are quite fearful for government reasons and the state of the world, and so there's other moments that we're going to touch on in that line in a moment. But I want us to focus on what this eclipse is typically doing for ourselves and our relationships. This eclipse is coming in Libra, and it's actually, there's a Venus note coming in too, which means love and partnership too. So we're going to dive into all of that information. Before we get there though, go ahead, guys, take a good deep breath in with me. Big exhale out. I always start off the podcast this way. Let's call on those guides and angels. So guides and angels on our right, guides and angels on our left, guides and angels in front, and guides and angels in back to balance and harmonize our time here, leaving us in the light and allowing nothing but the highest, truest, or the best to manifest upon us now. I love it. So this eclipse that's coming up, yes, it's coming up on the 14th. That's Saturday. It's going to be 12:30 Central, I believe, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, my friends. And this is going to be an eclipse that affects us in many different ways, especially in our relationships and our partnerships with others. We're really looking for a balance within relationships right now. And this eclipse is something that's going to bring up karmic relationships or karmic energy that needs to be either readdressed or cleared out from our life. And so if you're seeing people kind of come up and start to apologize, or people from the past necessarily, not even looking to reignite a relationship, but maybe to come back and say, hey, I you know, I messed up here, or I want to take accountability for the energy that I put forth in this experience, in this relationship, in this business adventure. So even we're talking partners in relationships, but I'm also talking about partners in business, or partners, if you've got a partner with, say you have a podcast and you've got a partner in that, this is the time where many people are going to find that they're going to be able to take a breath and maybe be accountable for some of those past ventures, those past regrets that they've got. Let me see here. Somebody says, if people are confused and feeling like the world is desperate, that is what they are choosing to look for. Yeah, it is true. It is true. It is, but also when you're empathic, and I'm sure you understand that too, my friend, that sometimes if we don't know how to protect our energy, we will soak up like a sponge the energy of the world around us. And so I believe it's very important to clear our energy, make sure that we are tuning into the frequency that we want to tune into, just like my friend just said. And I do believe that we have choice in the matter. Okay, we do. I believe you guys have heard my favorite hashtag, who's in charge, right? Who we are in charge to look at the energy, the way that we're wanting to kind of manifest in our life, right? And so it's I believe, extremely important to, yes, watch our mindset when we're moving through these different planetary, systems, because there's still choice in the matter on how we're going to move through those things. Excuse me. And so, yeah, so there's relationships, there's balance, all kind of right now trying to make sure we're finding balance in those relationships, and also understanding that, hey, I've been operating in this way for this entire time, but is that truly the way that I'm wanting to operate in this relationship? So a lot of communication is happening right now, or should be coming up this weekend. You might be, again, really surprised by somebody who maybe is typically more closed off in conversation. They might be coming through and speaking up more so right now, talking about the things that, they've needed to say and maybe didn't feel as though they had space to say that. Yes. Raw Will says, yes, you have to choose what you give. Where is that? Give your attention to, redirect your thoughts, and watch your words. Yes. And so that is extremely important. And right now, I'd be really having some sort of an affirmation. So get really clear in the next couple of days about what you're wanting to step into, because through this eclipse, there is a rebirth. And so we're starting to shed those beliefs from our system, those beliefs from our own energy, those energies that no longer served us, and really work on becoming clear. I think that's a constant state of, getting there, right? But working on becoming really clear today with the visual of the way you see life being, life becoming. And so you really come up with an affirmation that really speaks to your heart, and it being here today, not hope that this happens in time. I want you to say this affirmation as if, like mine, I say abundance finds me in all forms. I would even say abundance I am abundance in all forms. Maybe that is my new affirmation. Aha, see? And so new aha moments right here, guys. Using those affirmations right now is really important too. So getting really clear with your energy the night before the 14th, the day of, the day after, those evenings, those mornings is extremely important. So I do believe that you kind of sitting with yourself and becoming very clear with what that is for you, what's important for you, where it is you see yourself going, and see it to your highest advantage, see it to your highest form of being with no limitations. What would that look like? What would that feel like? That is what I want you guys to be manifesting. Again, guys, thank you for being here. I'm Cortney Kane Sides, your psychic medium, here on the Forbidden Knowledge channel. Make sure you're liking that button, you're subscribing. I am here every Wednesday, and I so appreciate appreciate you guys being here. It's amazing. So balance is important right now. Also fairness in the partnership. So if something's been maybe top heavy on one end for a while, having those conversations of saying, hey, with love and respect coming through right now, I'm wanting maybe a little more balance in this area or that area. And of course, sometimes in relationships, one person is holding on to a certain part more than another. One might be in a better financial spot, and one may be working really hard, and we know and we have faith that that's going to come out. But as long as those conversations and coming and we have that clarity, that's what is going to be coming through for you right now. And so it does feel like it's extremely important for you to be watching that in your relationships and your partnerships. Okay. It's so important again. So again, focusing on your needs and being really clear in those relationships, in those partnerships of what that even is, right? What is a need that you require? Do you require anything? Okay. And so now is the time to really sit in that space and really have some hard looks at your own relationships, those partnerships, and decide what are the things that I actually do require that maybe I've not mentioned, maybe I've not said it out loud, maybe maybe I'm being too passive. Those are the things right now that, if you're stepping into that space of what is the need, you clarifying the need, you communicating the need, that partner, the balanced partner for you is going to be able to hold space for you. Another thing that I'm seeing right now is also relationships coming to an end. So some of you might see, I had a client a few days ago who out of the blue had this beautiful relationship that she had been in for many years, just come through and end. Now, I believe that it was the correct timing. She does too. It had gone on maybe for a little long, but many of those relationships are coming to an end. I'm not saying it's only because the eclipse, but you might see that those things that aren't working come to an end during this time, right? So again, we all have free choice, free will. We get to decide the direction of those relationships, right? But it does feel like it's extremely important for you to notice the people coming in and coming out of our relationships, out of our life. I just saw somebody said, is she reading comments? I am trying to read through comments at certain moments when I look up, my friends. So yes. But yeah, not all of them. I do love to come back after we're done with the podcast and try to make sure I hit on all of the comments. That's always a fun thing to do. So I try to see some of them. Yes, for sure. Yolanda says, I manifested and worked diligently on receiving my trust fund. Attorney used misinformation. I debunked that with legal documents and investigations. Good job, Yolanda. That's awesome. Congratulations. Yes. Yeah. The doctor says it is what it is. Yeah, sometimes it is, my friend. I do believe that the energy we put into this, though, does bounce back. I know that, sometimes people call it toxic positivity, and I am a very logical person. I, of course, do the work that I do, which is based, I believe, in beautiful connecting to the light. Now, a lot of people may get confused in the sense that it's only good stuff and yada, yada. Just because I'm talking about connecting to the light and really positive information, it doesn't mean that we're not connecting to the really hard things that we must move through and make choices to change, if that makes sense. And so it's extremely important, I think, to really have that balance, even in our own spirituality, right? I do. So again, communication is going to be massive throughout this time. It does feel like you're, again, going to have people come through needing to have those hard conversations. So if there's something you've been holding your tongue on and you've not been expressing, now's a really beautiful time to be, again, really clear with your needs, with your hurdles, the things that you're wanting to have handled today, and not move through into that next realm, into that next, on the 15th, let's get these things done before, right? Let's do it. And so a lot of people are also asking themselves, am I in the correct relationship? Is this the relationship that's actually going in the direction that I see my life going in. And those are the things that many people are also noticing that are rising up for them right now. And I believe that those are really beautiful questions that sometimes only you can answer for yourself. So becoming really clear is extremely, again, very important. And some of those endings coming through in those relationships and also those job partnerships. And so when you're having relationships and those partnerships in business, kind of falling apart during these times, very often it's because they were going to be doing that in the first place. It's not, I would necessarily say, because the planets, but that's kind of heightening the energy, which heightens that energy within those particular relationships, and it brings everything sometimes to a head. So now's a great time to make sure that you're really, really, again, clear with your intention, your heart, the direction of where you see your highest self moving, and asking that person that you're in that partnership with, are we aligned? Is this where you want to go? This is where I want to go. Are we going to choose to continue to do these things together? Yes. Tanya says, I have 4 planets stationed in Libra, powerful energies. I've been grounding on the daily, looking into spiritual practices to stay positive and connected. Yes, I love that. I love it. Yeah, the Libra sign, I love Libras. They're wonderful. But when we're into the negative side of it, we can be very judgmental. We can, and this is, this eclipse is within that Libra sign. And so you might see that you're having some of those judgments come up, and maybe you're having them and having to get really clear on where that comes from and what that means for you rather than for the world around you. Like, why are you feeling that way? Or why are you having that? More dissecting that. And it's very often it's more about ourselves than it is them. And so really watching and having a lot of clarity about these things right now is really important. Okay. So again, I just said ending to some of those jobs, some of those relationships. Yes, I'm seeing lots of job transitions for clients right now. I believe that if you're having that and you're proactive right now, the world is a crazy place right now. It's true. But jumping up and saying, what do I need to do to move through this, I think is extremely important. Not sitting back and just waiting and praying and hoping something's going to fall into your lap. I don't really believe that we should do that either. I think we've got to jump up and take action to sometimes shift that energy, right? And so if you're noticing, though, that things are being taken away right now, very often it's because it needs to move through so that you can transform and be reborn into this new energy. Got it. Yeah. I love it. Tech and Stuff says, yes, I'm married to a Libra and she drives me crazy. I love that. Well, we've all got our things. I love Libra, so I think that's wonderful. I'm actually an Aquarius, and I had a few people not too long ago say, oh, Aquarius, and I was like, oh, we're amazing. And so I think we all have all of our beautiful traits and all of our hard traits sometimes, don't we? So true. And Ro Will says, what about people starting new businesses? Ro, this time right now, what I would do is sit in that space of clarity within yourself. Now, I think that you fine tuning the business or the business plan, maybe now is that great time. I don't know that I would start to take a lot of action moving through with, say, building or creating that partnership and all of that. Okay. I would, and it also depends on what your particular sign is and all of that. But I do believe that you getting clear on what that would look like if that business was the end all be all, doing as successful as you could imagine it could be, really good, get really good and solid in your visualization for that. And I would maybe move through after the 28th, after October 28th, maybe the 29th. Yeah, very cool. And so there's that. Also, this time right now, when we've got relationships and we've got certain things coming up for us, very often this is helping us course correct. And so sometimes we get off of our life's choices, our life path. Give me an emoji if you feel like you've done that and you actually feel like either you've been starting to do the course correction or you're feeling like there's a need to do that. That's something that's very big right now on this with this energy, is that course correcting, I can't even speak right now, that course correcting is extremely important, because that's actually what our soul, our highest self, is actually kind of craving us to get back on target. That's why seeing ourselves at our highest form of soul and energy is really wise right now to do. I had somebody earlier just put in the comments, what about homeschooling? I think it's an amazing thing. I have a child in public school still, and I have not taken her out yet. But just earlier this afternoon, I was thinking, is that something I'm going to be doing? I want to see if there's other homeschoolers in there. Give me an emoji if you guys agree. We can have another podcast on those sort of topics. We're going to take this into government for a second too, once we're kind of done talking about this, about the relationships and the energy of ourselves. I have to take a breath as I say that. Exhale the energy out, because this eclipse does, of course, affect society, and it does, of course, affect other things. And so we can have that discussion if everybody's ready for that. Yes. And so very interesting. Somebody says you have to put dedication into homeschool or your kids will have, yeah, I see that, be dumb, or essentially is what that says. Yeah, I agree. I think that it's got to be a true commitment, which is why my child is not quite out of the public school system, but I'm getting a little closer and a little closer there. So we will see, my friend. Yeah, a lot of people are saying no. I love different opinions. I love it. Yes. ABM says, what do you suggest we do this Saturday? On this Saturday, am going to be in my home and infusing my space with with my own energy. That is what I'm going to do, essentially nothing. And so I'm going to be here, do the things I love in my home, meditate, listen to podcasts, do whatever those things are that kind of uplift my energy and spirit, and be essentially aware. That's how I feel. That's what I personally will be doing. So I like that question coming up. We're going to kind of get into some of those things too. All right. So again, let's go back. We said endings to jobs and partnerships. Yes. Right. And so it is extremely important to make sure that you are watching the people coming out of your life right now. Okay. It does feel like it's one of those things where some of those people that are leaving, they're leaving because they were meant to. And so it can still be heartbreaking when we lose those partnerships. Taking the breath in and releasing that energy and allowing just things to flow. Us not condemning the change is really, really important now. Allowing yourself to grow, allow yourself to essentially be reborn into this new energy, I believe is key. Okay. All right. So again, all doing that is going to help us course correct, is going to help us get back on track with where we wanted to go. Got it? All right. Aligning, it is also when we are doing that course correction, that is essentially aligning us with our true destiny, with what it was we were meant to do here. Some of that, might be major life changes. It might be, a complete massive change financially for somebody too. Very often we come into this life having beliefs with money and abundance that were set up from our families. It's multi-generational, kind of embedded within our epigenetics at times. And I believe that this is a really beautiful time to clear that out and actually step into this next realm, call it the next dimension, this next quantum leap. That is essentially how I see this eclipse for us. It can really help us jump into that next phase of our full energy, our full potential. And very often, even when we're doing big things and we're taking big actions, there's still sometimes doubt within our energy. Sometimes there's still, sometimes people are still playing small. So where is it that you feel as though you need to make those changes? Where do you feel as though you feel like you've been playing small? Where have you allowed yourself to sit still and be okay with it. And if you're cool with it, cool, no problem. If you have no problem with it, then you're amazing. That's awesome. You're right where you should be. But if you're feeling that nudge of that there's something more, now is the time to jump into that action of knowing, even if it's just the action of visualization, the action of breathing in that potential, the action of sitting with yourself, your highest self, praying about that, whatever your faith base is, and really get into alignment with how you make clear change for you. Because the only person that's going to save you is you. Yep. ABMC says, okay, take action. Yeah, that's it. The only person that's going to save us is us taking that next step for the change. So again, sometimes that means allowing these partnerships to change if it needs to change, allowing those relationships in love, partnerships in business, friendships, if they are no longer serving us. Now is the time to, I believe, be very lovingly clear, coming from that space of groundedness, very clear with your words and your intention. Okay. Sometimes setting boundaries with people doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to be an angry, mean thing. It could be a very beautiful, clear thing. Yeah. And so here we are. All right. So transcending right now is also the time for us to be transcending old fears and beliefs. That's exactly what I was just saying. What is it that you have kind of connected with all this time? What have you seen your family choosing or being comfortable with that you actually are realizing that, hey, I've gone along with that and that doesn't actually speak to me any longer. And you're starting to get and become very clear with who you are and what you are. You understand? And it feels extremely important to sit in that space and really honor your own heart, your own needs, your own wants, and your own desires right now. And we cannot teach our children, anybody else to do that if we are not actually doing that ourselves. So now is the time for us to be able to sit in that space and show up in this beautiful world that we live in. I say beautiful while there's such sadness and hardship in many different places right now. We're going to again touch base in the eclipse energy with the world and economy and government and all of that in just a moment. But it is extremely important for you to make sure that we're honing in on our own light and our own energy at home first. We cannot be a light to the world if we're not a light here first. That's so true. I see lots of comments about the lights. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Speaking of lights, we've got to turn our own lights within ourselves on, don't we? We do. Again, so I touched on this for a moment. Apologies, lots of apologies coming our way. Lots of people from the past wanting to come up, those relationships giving you maybe closure if you have been needing that closure from certain friendships or partnerships. Now's the time that you might see somebody come through and give you a call or text you or send you an email. You might be seeing things like that. To respond is completely up to you. Again, free will, free choice. But understand that right now is a really beautiful time that these karmic cords are being cut. Okay. And actually now is a really beautiful time to cut cords. So those of you who have watched my podcast on cord cutting, you should, if you don't already know how to cut cords with people from your past or energy that no longer serves you, this is a really beautiful time. So somebody asked, what should we do on Saturday? Do that. Cut cords on Saturday or cut cords Friday night, the evening before the eclipse happens. I think it's a really beautiful time. So I'm going to change when somebody said, what are you going to be doing? I'm going to be cutting cords. That's what I'm going to do. If you follow my Instagram, I will go leave a link. I will find that podcast for the cord cutting and I will go link that on my Insta stories. And so after this podcast, you guys can run over there and find that so that you can use that as well. It's very easy. It's not hard to do. And when you're cutting cords, you're cutting the energy. You're not cutting people from your life forever. You're just cutting the story that no longer works. Okay. Got it. So also I want to touch base real quick about what many people are feeling. So feeling exhausted, crying, lots of headaches. I've even had a bit of a headache today. It's been here the last couple of days. There's a lot of change in the energy happening. Those of you that are empathic or psychic or have any type of gifts or abilities, which I believe you all do, you might be noticing that you are tired, you are exhausted. And so making sure that you're bubbling up, you're protecting yourself, taking lots of salt baths, and right now, and even, taking your shoes off, which I do quite a bit, and just walk outside, walk on the grass. Okay. And so, yes, everybody's saying so tired. Yes. And so it is, now's the time to really be easy with yourself. So sensitives, especially with, and also hopeless. I'm seeing lots of people feeling hopeless right now. And also, I want to go back to relationships and partnerships. Expect the unexpected, but don't stay in the energy of fear, right? Be open to truth coming your way, but that's that. We don't want to live in fear. Again, that's a choice. We don't want to do that. I see lots of people saying that, yes, they're crazy tired. Thank you, Geo Compass, for your comment. Amy says she's been doing Reiki and just crying. Yes, cry. If you're feeling like you need to cry, my friends, cry. Yes. Andrea says, very tired, bad mood for no reason, ... I love a ... I love it. Thank you for that. Yeah, Wendy has a headache too. Me too, sister. I've been there with you all day. Darn it. I even went and had a massage, hoping that would help, and it really didn't do anything. Yep, crying. So guys, right now, making sure that you're clearing your own energy, you're taking care and you're comforting your own self, I think is really important. So while we're doing this, we can still visualize, we can feel the truth of how we feel in the moment, but we can still understand and visualize where we're wanting to go, where we're wanting to place and put our energy. Okay. Pureness, love, and heart. And as Terrence just said, and the best for the world. Yes. So how I see this happening real quick, and I don't always get into kind of the governmental stuff or whatever that's happening. So let's shift this eclipse information. So there's some government stuff popping up within this eclipse as well. So all of that same information that we literally just discussed in relationships can essentially be picked up and put in terms of government. And so big, that means change, big changes happening. It feels like with government and society, which we're clearly seeing, which is, does not bring a lot of peace to us, right? And understanding that it is time to make sure that we are all speaking out on what I believe is important, and not sitting back and really being silent any longer. Yeah. And so it is, we can, if you watch the news and if you are watching social media right now, it is not a very comforting place to be. If you understand what I'm saying, give me an emoji. There's a lot of fear happening, and I'm not saying to not be aware of that fear, to educate yourself in all realms. There is going to be a lot of change. There is going to be, the structure, I believe, is falling apart, to praying that it goes in the direction of newness and a rebirth of something good. But somebody said, yeah, collapse. I do believe that now is the time, my friends, to make sure that you're taken care of. So take care of your needs. Remember, we were just talking about in relationship to that information, to relationships and partnerships. Make sure that you're taking care of your needs, you're taking care of your heart, you're taking care of yourself. It's extremely important to come from that space, right? And so in my home, I always prepare for the worst and hope for the best and pray for the best, and know that that's actually what's happening. So am I a prepared person? 100%. Am I prepared out of fear? No. Does that fear rise up in me? I'm empathic. I feel it all. I was on the phone speaking with my person earlier this morning and was just like, had to take a moment and have a conversation. Those maybe are also the conversations that you could be having with your partners on We don't want to live in that space of fear. But if X, Y, or Z happened, what would we do? And so you have your plan, you have your conversation. Take a breath in and move it along. Yeah. Yes, it says the only person that can save everyone is you. Believe in you. Praise you. I am thankful for you. I love you. I love you too, my friend. I believe that. And so I believe that we must make sure that we understand that we are in charge, that nobody is here to do any of that for us. And so it is, Raw Will says, so draining or too draining. It is. Do I believe that my headache and my shoulders and that energy is what I've been feeling all day and yesterday? Yes. Have I been slower in even sharing my content? Yeah, I have, because I've been definitely feeling all of this around us, making sure I'm not connecting and letting it defeat, of course, my energy, breathing in and doing all of those things that will help clear our space, right? Clear our energy, clear our hearts, clear our minds. That's it could be prayer, it could be meditation for you, it could be yoga, it could be, again, putting your feet in the grass, dancing, it could be hugging, being with your loved ones, any of those things, right? And so you deciding on how this energy is going to, what this energy is going to look like for you is extremely important, I believe. Okay. Again, what I do is I prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And so what I know is that I do believe that, having plans in place is a beautiful thing. If we have plans in place, then we don't have to necessarily be in fear. Does that make sense? Yeah. ABM says we are vibing high. Yes, we are. We are. And so it feels extremely important to make sure that you know who and what you're connected to, and also making sure we speak up and communicate our truth, right? Standing up for one another. And I believe, guys, over the course of the last 5, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, there has been such an awakening. There has been such us. Lisa says humming helps. Good. I like that. There has been such, again, an awakening of people, adults, children. And I believe it's because the world needs those of us who come from the place of heart-centered humanity to be able to take space for the world. It means it is time for us to make sure that when we're praying, we're sending that energy out into the world. When we're meditating, when we're calling on those guides and angels in the way that we did before we started this podcast, we're taking that breath in and sending that beyond. I believe that that helps. I believe that that is love, and I believe that that works. Some person might come in and say, that's ridiculous, da, 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 and that's okay. That doesn't work for them, and that's beautiful, and that's fine for them. But for me, that is truth, and that is heart, right? So making sure right now that we have clarity, our own truth, with our own truth clarity in our communication. I do believe that we, again, are going to see some changes. I want to say radical changes. I don't want to say radical, but I want to say radical changes in what's happening governmentally right now. It does feel like there's a lot of changes that are going to be made quite quickly. And that I don't want that to cause a lot of alarm for everybody. I want you to be really solid in your own connection with yourself and your family and your love. Yeah, I love that. Kjo Vaughn says, I wish everyone prosperous, abundant future. Yes, I love that. And Frank Rich says, unconditional love. Yes, that's what we're spreading here, guys. I want to say to you guys again, if you haven't subscribed to this podcast, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, to the Forbidden Knowledge channel, and even my own personal YouTube page, it's cosmically connected with Cortney Kane Sides, do me a favor. And tonight when we're off, go over there and follow that page. We just got up to 1,000 subscribers, guys. That's it. Can you believe it? And I cannot wait to be doing more videos there. It's going to be so much fun. So please do me a favor and go follow over there too. And again, if you're wanting that Cutting Cords podcast, I want you to go follow over on my Insta stories, and I will share that. It might take me about 10-15 minutes to find it under all of the Forbidden Knowledge podcast videos, but I will find it and I will put the link there for you guys so you guys can make sure that you're cutting cords with the energy that no longer serves you, but also the energy of people who you've created. You want peace within that relationship. You're ready for that karmic bond to be done. This time with this eclipse is the perfect time to be doing that, because what happens is it's going to give you clear space to take back all of your own karmic energy from that relationship, and it's going to give them back theirs. And so it's a perfect time to be doing that. I'm so happy somebody said something about cords or energy, and we talked about it, because I was not even thinking about sharing that tonight. Chrissy says, let's see here, grounding, kindness, meditation, unconditional love, frequencies, drinking, healthy water, detox baths, eating healthy foods. Yes, 100%. And guys, also making sure that we're showing our children, we're doing that in front of them. We're teaching them that too. I think that that's extremely important, and showing them that self-care is so necessary, because if we don't have that, we really don't have anything, right? But again, I want to touch on some of those things, right? So if you are feeling so overwhelmed, if you're feeling exhausted, if you're having the headaches, the tension in your body, let's see, what about cords with people that have crossed over? You can cut cords with people that have crossed over. I think that you can absolutely do that if you're feeling as though like an energy no longer serves you and they've passed. Absolutely, you can do that for sure. I believe that if you believe you can do that, you can do that. You're the boss here. You're the boss. You're the creator. Your source. So 100% and absolutely. But yeah. So again, symptoms right now. We're having. We're exhausted. We're so tired. We're having to really make sure we're coming back to all of those healing modalities, breathing exercises. Yes, thank you for that, Terrence. And making sure that we're taking care of ourselves in a way that you're probably having to double down, right? And do more of. And so as soon as I was thinking and do more of, somebody, cultural compass just says sleep as much as you need. Yes, that's so true. And so making sure that you're really taking care of yourself right now. And of course, it's not just through the lunar eclipse, it's through the rest of your life, for gosh sakes. But right now it's a very heightened time for this energy. So just what a great time to start, my friend. What a good time to start. So again, I want to recap. You're going to see a lot of energy with love and partnerships. You're going to be seeing lots of communication needing to be had. So you might have partners come up wanting to re-clarify something, or they might need to express their truth in a way that they haven't felt as though they could. And so being open to somebody right now, your partner, your relationship, it could be a best friend partnership. It's extremely important to hear and listen, but to also have true clarity with your own heart and truth in that moment. So make sure that you're also then in return being honest and truthful for your own needs and your own energy, your own words. Make sure that you're giving space and taking care of your own needs, just in the way you've been taking care of everybody else's, right? Yes, that's right. Origins of the Sons of Light says we always have to protect God inside of us, Cortney. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. That's true. I believe that. Yeah, Terrence says everybody's full of energy. Yeah, it is a good one, guys. Thank you for being here, everybody. I so appreciate it. Again, so balance in relationships. We're wanting to make sure that we're having that communication. It's massive right now. And also people watching, like, am I in the right relationship? Like, that's a very normal thing to be kind of thinking right now. If you feel like, if there's many like negative things happening, now's the time for you to make the choice for you. Now's the time for you to take action. And what am I doing for me? What are my needs that I've been ignoring? If you're noticing that you're doing this in your life, now's the time to really watch this, right? Yeah. And so again, this is the time that it's allowing us to course correct. And this is the time of our old energy, guys. Many of us have been living in such a space that that we have been hiding our true selves, our true gifts, our true abilities. And what happens is we get so nervous about showing up in this life of ours. So many people, I see so many clients constantly in my private sessions talking about, I have this gift and ability. I had somebody just last night who runs a massive mental facility here, hospital facility, and they actually have massive gifts and abilities, and that's actually where their passion lies. And so they've got this these massive success. I can't speak. Massive success in their own right in their work, and that's amazing. However, she's not passionate about it. She really wants to be showing up for others. She wants to be teaching classes. She wants to be helping not just people, but children too. And so now's the time that you're going to have that want and that urge, and that it's coming up in you in a way that probably has never come up to this level before. And so it doesn't mean that it's coming up to be ignored. It's coming up so you can realize your full potential. And so come up again with an affirmation that resonates with you, that speaks such truth about that dream, about that mission, about that highest self of energy. And make sure that you're saying that now till indefinite time, but making sure that you're doing that the day before, the evening before, tomorrow, and then also the day after. Okay. And so I think that you understanding that you get to now decide where your life is going. You are the only one in charge. You are the only person that can take care of this for you. And I believe that that's exactly what we're all kind of realizing too, is it's yes, pray, yes, connect, yes, meditate, yes, become that light within. But it's our purpose here. Your purpose in life is not, is this the correct thing, or is that the correct thing, or is this the job, or is that the job? The correct thing is for you to brighten your light, brighten your heart, and share with the world in your creative way that you want to do that. Make products, sing, dance, do podcasts, provide sessions, whatever. But it's supposed to be coming from you, from your heart. That is your purpose, okay? And now's the time for you to get really, really clear. Yes. Esmeralda, I understand, my friend. Yes, I understand. So that's another podcast for sure. Guys, I so appreciate you being here. It's really, really an interesting time. And I believe if we're moving through these beautiful moments that we have in life, in our own homes, there could be such beauty and then such horrificness around the world, and how that can spin in a second. Not connecting to that and staying in the fear of that, but understanding that we are here for the time that we're here to share, to live, to share our light to the world, and to speak and protect each other as well. And so making sure that we are speaking our truth, and also growing as humans, helping build up humanity, because the world needs it right now more than ever. Our neighbors, our states, our government, society, and it's not working clearly the way that it has been going, and it's time for change to happen. And I believe that is why the children were awakening 20, 25 years ago into their gifts and abilities. They were calling them indigo children. There were other terms for them as well, and the parents even open to them, discovering their gifts and abilities, and those children now, that's why you see such an such a variety of people talking about their gifts. It's such mainstream information now, and it's because the world was waking up so long ago. And so it's extremely important. I believe that that's what we're supposed to do. And if we're here moving through these hardships, take a breath with me, my friends. It's because your soul was meant to be moving through this. It's because the world needed you, and your neighbor needed you, and we need you, and we're here to connect and share the light with us all, with humanity and society. It's extremely important that that's what we awaken to. So this eclipse is a beautiful time for you to get really clear on your highest self, what you look like. What if you were at your highest potential? Who would you be? What would be those words coming out of your mouth? Who would you be connecting to? And how is it that you'd be sharing your love? How is it that you'd be sharing your heart with every person that crosses your path? That is the reason you're here on this planet. And it's time. And if you don't feel like you're called, let this podcast be your wake-up call to join in and connect to yourself, your highest self, that source within, that God within. Connect and share it with the world. Guys, I love you. I hope that you have loved tonight's podcast. Do me a favor and please go subscribe to my own personal channel, Cosmically Connected with Cortney Kane Sides. It's down here in this description on this podcast. If you will do that, that would make me so happy. I would so appreciate. We will be going live and doing more lives there, more podcasts there, as well as also here every Wednesday on my favorite Forbidden Knowledge network channel. And for those of you who want to check out that Cutting the Cord podcast that I spoke about earlier, it's very easy. It's not difficult. I actually learned that from a shaman in Phoenix. His name was John English, a great guy. And so that's not mine. I always try to pass off or give a whatever you call it, make sure that I'm giving a nod to the person that I learned this from, and that is who that was. It was John English. He's amazing. So I will go leave that link to that podcast there in the Insta story. And so if you'd love to hear that, I would love to watch it and love to be able to learn to do that yourself. It's something there for you. So guys, thank you for being here. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.